Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trevor Plays here, back again with some more One Piece. I know it's been a bit; it's been like 2 weeks, um, but I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Would you guys want me to do it weekly and just go back to doing it weekly, uploading whenever the new chapter drops and everything like that, or waiting for 2 chapters instead, and that way I don't have to yes, I will have to wait, obviously, but I've just the last couple times I've done this, I've released uh reviews for 2 chapters and everything like that. It was just because, it's fun. I like it, and I don't like waiting for the next chapter. So I might as well just wait ahead of time and just binge read it. But for One Piece, because of how it is, I like reading it relatively recent, and everything like that. So yes, we are here with chapter 1115, titled "Pieces of a Continent." Um, and yeah, I know, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If I should keep doing this to where I read 2 chapters at a time and upload them pretty close in time, or just go back to doing it as weekly things. Let me know. I don't think I will wait any longer. I think I will just at least stay to 2 chapters at a time if I do wait, because other than that I will be either going back to the whole weekly thing, or not. It's up to you guys what you think is the best course of action, for me as well. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. But here we go. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 5. Hiyori and Otoko are packing me a bento lunch. And she's all happy and smiling. We see Hiyori and Otoko there. Oh, we're straight up just going into it. Flower capital, Wano. I can't believe this gets signal from abroad. But as for why he was called a pirate, Orochi had it in the castle. So Joy Boy was a pirate. He sounds just like Luffy. You've heard of him, my lord? The Brig, Naval Base G4. Joy Boy. I don't believe he's stronger than our captain, right, Captain Kid? Leave the guy alone. He's already dead. Former fake Luffy, Damalo Black, and now he's dressed up as Kid. Oh God, that's the captain we love and admire. Kid's the most generous guy around. There's no way that I'm weaker than Joy Ball. Boy. Oh God, Damalo Black is back, but this time him and his fake crew are dressed up as Kid's crew and not the Straw Hats this time. Okay. I have only read from a handful of poneglyphs, but what I found there was the record of a breathtaking vast war. Joy Boy's enemy was the world government of the present day. Wait, is that us? If he was a pirate, that checks out. Obviously, again, with these things, I will also be rereading all of Vegapunk's message at the very end, so stay tuned for the end of this, where I reread all of Vegapunk's message being read out, so that way it's more cohesive and we actually get the full story without me jumping back and forth between dialogue from characters. And it's Vegapunk! More accurately, it was the precursor to the world government, provisional army put together by 20 kingdoms known as the Alliance. You might say they had no other choice. So robust was Joy Boy's faction. Without knowing the spark that caused the war, I won't say who was right or wrong. I'll simply state that 2 competing ideologies came head to head. As I mentioned earlier, for its time 900 years ago, the country of Joy Boy's birth, Zo, New World, um, was a startlingly advanced civilization, and the weapons that were used over the course of this 100-year conflict appear to be impossible to recreate with the latest of modern science. That's amazing! As we see Carrot, who is now the leader of Zoe, um, still wild to me, um, with Wanda and the Musketeers and everything like that. Um, and now we cut over to Foxy. Okay. What nonsense is this? He's talking peanuts. Boss, I'm starving. Even I, a humble genius, cannot replicate them. What's he bragging about? And therein lies the problem. The Labophase. Stussy. Huh? It's me, Edison. Lower the barrier and run for safety. What? I can't. If anything happens to the Straw Hats before they can leave, honestly, there ain't much point to the barrier anymore. If it can't stop these guys from getting past it, I've done all I can to help the Straw Hats make their escape. They can take it from here. Are you on your way, Jinbei? Sorry, almost there. Don't apologize, Jinbei. We were... Was that you I heard saying something, Zoro? I'm gonna smack you after this. um, Hurry, more ships are gathering around the northeast coast. We don't want to land on the water only to get bombarded to bits. That's a relief. Stella would be so upset with me if I didn't help them get away. Nah, he wouldn't. Now get out of there. But I don't know what to do. Huh? Without Stella around anymore, who do I live for? And Kaku hears that and it's all like, Don't let him use that katana. The old geezer can cut through anything. Bio response detected. Bonnie! Look out, Bonnie! Yeah! It's like, ah! Can't hold that future form for long. The Void Century came to a close with the defeat of Joy Boy. How long must you jabber on, Vegapunk? Where's he going? Obnoxious bio response. But not before leaving vast permanent scars of war across the face of the world. And as one of the five elders just cuts the Labophase in half, pretty much. And then, huh? And then the Seraphim are looking, and then everybody is pretty much, all the CP9 or CP0 members and everything like that are falling through. The world is made up of a series of islands. Sailing between them is difficult, and many people never experience anything but their own culture at home. Well, yeah, duh. Everyone knows the sea is dangerous. But this shared understanding of the world does not necessarily apply to the world of 1,000 years ago. Because a cataclysm occurred during the Void Century, causing the world to sink once before. We are currently living on the pieces of a continent that existed long ago. Huh? The world of a millennium ago now slumbers, unseen at the bottom of the sea. In fact, one can assume that in the past, there was a number of continents we now know nothing about. This is all so wild. Where are you going, Nojiko? The world's in danger. You can tell me about it later. I'm going to check on the tangerine groves. No, Chico! If the world were still the same as it was in the past, then the act of erasing 100 years of history would be simply unthinkable and impossible, however. It makes much more sense when you understand that the rise in sea level over that century was 200 meters. What? 200 meters? These gigantic battleships are only 60 meters long. No wonder the whole world vanished. Hey, don't get distracted by the story. Cypherpole and the Seraphim came falling down to the ground level. We gotta rescue them. Did you hear that? This man's still lying. The old coot's cracking me up. No way any of that is true. Cherry Blossom Kingdom, Chopper's homeland. How does such a thing happen? There's still so much to learn about the world, says Kureha. That mountain over there is just about 200 meters tall. Imagine the sea level that high. It sounds like hell. How many people must have died? As for why the sea level rose so much during that century, it would be natural to assume the work of a sudden natural disaster. But I can state for a fact that this was a man-made disaster. That's just crazy. And then Vivi just shuts and she's like, shh, Morgans. If such a cataclysm were caused by natural forces, then the initial disaster would have spanned several centuries and inflicted slow but continual damage upon the world. But by any measurement, climatology, geology, environmental, and atmosphere science, this dramatic shift could not have happened within a single century. So the cause is something else. And when I detected the rise in worldwide sea levels the other day, I had my answer. I knew the cause and confirmed its existence. The ancient weapons that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago still exist today and await the moment that they stir once again. In other words, the vast war that arose during the Void Century never came to an end. To be continued. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So, reread all of Vegapunk's things once again. But, as for why he was called a pirate, I have only read from a handful of poneglyphs. But, what I found there was the record of a breathtaking vast war. Joy Boy's enemy was the world government of the present day. More accurately, it was the precursor to the world government, a provisional army put together by 20 kingdoms known as the Alliance. You might say they had no other choice, so robust was Joy Boy's faction. Without knowing the spark that caused the war, I won't say who was right or wrong. I'll simply state that two competing ideologies came head to head. As I mentioned earlier, for its time, 900 years ago, the country of Joy Boy's birth was a startling advanced civilization, and the weapons that were used over the course of this 100-year conflict appeared to be impossible to recreate, and to recreate with the latest of modern science. Even I, a humble genius, cannot replicate them. And therein lies the problem. And then I think this is like them talking here, so that's not what I need to read here. Um, right here. The Void Century came to a close with the defeat of Joy Boy, but not before leaving vast permanent scars of war across the face of the world. The world is made up of a series of islands. Sailing between them is difficult, and many people never experience anything but their own culture at home. But this shared understanding of the world does not necessarily apply to the world of 1,000 years ago, because a cataclysm occurred during the Void Century, causing the world to sink once before. We are currently living on the pieces of a continent that existed long ago. The world of a millennium ago now slumbers unseen at the bottom of the sea. In fact, one can assume that in the past there were a number of continents we know nothing about. If the world were still the same as it was in the past, then the act of erasing 100 years of history would be simply unthinkable and impossible. However, it makes much more sense when you understand that the rise in sea level over that century was 200 meters. As for why the sea level rose so much during that century, it would be natural to assume the work of a sudden natural disaster. But I can state for a fact that this was a man made disaster. If such a cataclysm were caused by natural forces, then the initial disaster would have spanned several centuries and inflicted slow but continual damage upon the world. But, by any measurement, climatology, geology, environmental, and atmospheric science, this dramatic shift could not have happened within a single century. So the cause is something else. And when I detect the rise in the worldwide sea level the other day, I had my answer. I knew the cause and confirmed its existence. The ancient weapons that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago still exist today and await the moment that they stir once again. In other words, the vast war that arose during the Void Century never came to an end. Okay, Vegapunk. I see. So yeah, the reason why the world is a vast slew of islands is because there was a continent, like a mass like Pangea type continent, like what we have in the real world, um, or had in the real world, um, kind of thing. Okay, I see. But with that, the sea level rose 200 meters, um, as well. So that is also why like some things are happening like this. But then also you then confirm about the ancient weapons. Of course, Poseidon, Uranus, and Pluton. Um, and we know where pretty much all of them are. We know that Pluton is in Wano, and Poseidon is Shirahoshi in Fishman Island, and we're assuming that Uranus is the big sky thing that Eam has control of that just obliterated the Lucia kingdom, um, from the existence of the world. So we're pretty sure that these three are the ancient weapons that have been around for since the Void Century and everything like that, but then also to say that the war has never came to an end. It's wild. Also, we're still trying to get all the Straw Hats together. Bonnie is still running for her life. The Seraphims and the other Cypher Pole members have now fallen from the upper location down to the ground level, so they're able to rescue them and everything like that. We're seeing everybody else's reaction to the fact of the world, or the continent, sunk to the bottom of the sea. We see the Revolutionary Army's reaction to that. And we're seeing Marines react to the story and everything like that. We're seeing people all around the world. And yeah, we're just checking up on people. Overall, this is a really good chapter. I mean, just gives us more of the story that we're trying to learn from Vegapunk. Other than that, there's like some little action stuff in here and that. And then also this thing with Stussy or Stussy or however the hell you want to say her name. She is just like, well, without the Stella Vegapunk, who do I live for? What do I do now? Kind of thing. So we're gonna have to see Stussy kind of come into her own and become grow as a character and actually be like, okay, well, I'm a living human being kind of thing, and now she can just live with her own actions. She can do whatever she wants. She can just do whatever. So that'll be cool to see with her and her little story arc there. We do get to see Vivi again make a small little cameo appearance. We also get to see Gally Law as well. So yeah, it's cool. We're getting to see everybody around the world and everything like that. See what they're doing and seeing how they're taking in all the information that Vegapunk is spearing out against the world. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Leave some comments down below. Like I said at the very beginning, do you guys want me to continue doing the 2 chapter kind of things, or do you want me to return to weekly videos of doing the One Piece reactions? But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, leave likes, comments, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you guys next time.